After Cafe, where ideas take shape, thoughts find depth, and every conversation explores the art of thinking beyond the obvious. And today I have my special guest. He's a motivational speaker, ministry leader, a coach, and of course, an author too, no other than Mr. Ahmad Vital. Welcome, Mr. Ahmad on Africa. And can you please introduce more about yourself that I missed?
Well, I mean, you hit most of the points, man. I speak, I consult. I'm a writer at my core. Uh, Coming to you from the great state of Texas. Just a small town Texas guy, man, just trying to do some big things in the world. And of course, a lot of the stuff I'm doing now has to do a lot around ministry. So I'm
Yes.
excited to be on with you and share with your guests this evening.
Yes, indeed. And thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world. So today let's talk about sports as metaphor for life. Tell us, Mr. Ahmad. Perhaps the most obvious parallel is that both sports and life require a strong foundation and consistent practice. How does a discipline of a daily training regimen translate to building successful and meaningful life?
Oh man, you hit the nail on the head. I mean, discipline is going to be one of the foundational pillars. Obviously, anyone who's been an athlete for more than 5 minutes knows that if you're going to be successful in doing so, that discipline and commitment is going to be high on the list. I mean, we'll probably go through many other aspects of life correlating over the sports, but discipline and a commitment is going to be high, going to be very pivotal to moving forward. Obviously, there's a lot of training that goes along to it, a lot of preparation. Any athlete who's been in for quite some time is going to know that you have to be usually up early and you're going to have some late nights, and there's going to be some times when you're quite tired and you're still called to be able to push through it no matter what. The weight training, the practices, and going through and evaluating the film and being honest and being able to take the criticism that comes with it, as far as being able to push through and be at the highest level you can in sports. And when it comes into life, obviously, we're looking at the idea that, I mean, no one is successful without discipline. You're not going to find anyone who's successful in any profession of life who's not have a level of discipline. In fact, you won't even be able to hold on to your money if you're not disciplined, because it takes discipline to have a budget. It takes discipline to wake up and get to your job on time. It takes discipline to be able to start at a certain point, usually at the bottom, and work your way up. It takes discipline to continue to do more than you're being paid for so that you can move up to the next level and always continuing to push forward with that. And so discipline is going to be a rock solid foundation. And obviously, in addition to discipline, part of discipline can be your faith, making sure that you have a solid moral compass to be able to interact with others, because it takes discipline to not have an attitude with everybody as well. There's a mindset that comes along with that, and a lot of it can be based on your faith and having a solid foundation in that way as well.
In sports, you play by set of rules. How does this concept of playing by the rules or understanding the game apply to achieving success and maintaining integrity in our period or personal and period and professional lives?
Yes, there are rules to every sport you play. There's certain things you can and cannot do, and correlating that over to life. Typically, when you get hired, there's usually a process, an
Yes.
onboarding process where you have to go into that meeting with HR and you have to go in with your managers, and they'll tell you what your dress code is, what time you need to be to work, uh, what can and can't say, and whether you're talking about governmental or in the private sector. I mean, there's rules, there's regulations. There's just certain, you just can't do anything you want. And so when you understand the rules that comes along with playing football, basketball, baseball, track, swimming, or whatever your sport is, you have to take that same mindset and attitude into the workforce, because no matter how great you were on any of your sports teams, you can't just go into the real world and say, I'm going to do things as I want to. You have to follow the authorities of whom you're working under, including a boss. And your boss is going to tell you what you can and cannot do, along with HR, along with the owners, along with the board of directors. All of these things are put in place, which is why when you get hired, they hand you a manual, a handbook, and typically they want you to read that so that you can make sure that you're in compliance with what the company wants you to do. And so, obviously, the rules is going to be a major factor in going into the workforce, which we all will end up at some time, no matter what you do in your life, and no matter how long you play sports. At some point, you have to come into life and do something else, because you can't play sports for the rest of your life.
Mr. Ahmad, every athlete has a coach. Why is having a mentor, guide, or coach so critical in life? And what are the qualities of an effective life coach?
I love that question, by the way. Yes, we all have coaches in our lives,
Thank
and,
you.
and they are there to lead and guide us and discipline us when it's time for us to take on particular tasks. Um, I know that coming out of athletics, many of the men I still hold in high regards are coaches. In fact, I'm probably where I am right now because of two high school coaches who invested in me at a time when I didn't deserve it. I was absolute, reckless young man at some points in my youth and adolescence, doing a lot of things as we just came out of breaking rules and breaking laws. And so these coaches saw something in me and invested in me, and so I'm grateful for those guys. And I think that it's important when you go into life, especially as guys going into the workforce and going into, I guess they would say, adulthood. Having a mentor, a patriarch, or and different levels of men in your life is extremely important. It's important because, for one, you don't know everything. That's number one. In fact, you may not know much of anything. But the bottom line is that you want to have people around you who can guide you, and also who can, I guess the word I'll say, keep you humbled, keep you on a straight and narrow, because you, if you're pretty good at something, maybe you start thinking you're too good at something, and once you get to the point where the growth is stunted, that's where you need someone who can come along and see your blind spots. I keep a solid group of men around me. I have about 4 or 5 guys at many levels, whether it's professional, spiritual, mental, physical, when it comes to training and things of that nature. It is so important to have that counsel, almost like your own board of directors and mentors and counselors around you as you go through life, because they will be able to look at you from up top and look at all that you're doing and be able to make the possible suggestions and corrections that'll be needing for your life, and it'll be quite beneficial to you. And I suggest everyone go do that and have those particular people in their lives.
Mr. Ahmad, teach or sports teach us that success is rarely instantaneous. It's season-long endeavor. How can adapting a seasonal perspective rather than seeking quick wins help us navigate these long-term goals and challenges in life?
It sounds like you're taking a page out of Warren Buffett's investor playbook right now, and I like it, because
Yes.
because there's a lot of, man. And really and truly, in the last 2 or 3 generations, man, there's been so much looking for this instant gratification, and it's unfortunate because uh, technology played a big role in that, with the fact of not only the internet but microwave ovens, all these things that do things that used to take us a long time are doing it much quicker now. And so that attitude, especially with the smartphones and the access to information, um, you know, I came up at a time when you had to go to the library. You had to read a certain number of books to be able to do a term paper. there was no shortcuts. You had to get it done, and you had to do it the long way. And your teachers basically said, I need 5 sources from 5 different books. The internet wasn't quite um, where it is now. I came out of high school in 1997. The internet was just starting to break ground, especially in my small town. And so when it comes to what I like to call delayed gratification, which is known as delayed gratification, is like you have to put in the work and continue to move closer towards the goal. Now, some people do have some instant success, but they always have to realize that the wins don't happen forever, and that you have to be able to look at your progress and know that each day you're moving closer towards that goal. Whether it's winning a championship, whether it's getting faster in your speed, whether it's getting stronger, whether it's getting more knowledgeable by reading your playbook, learning the craft that goes along with your sport. All of those things take time. Especially, when you start looking at many guys who play sports today, some of them will go their whole career and maybe don't even, win a title of any kind. And some of them, it took them a very, very long time to get there. And so we have to be in the mindset to where it's not a marathon. It's a marathon and not a sprint. And we need to be able to have the mindset and have the patience and have the delayed gratification to be able to lock in, play the long game, and understand that wins don't typically come quick. Success does not typically come quick. Wealth does not come quick. Rebuilding your body doesn't come quick. Education, the knowledge and wisdom, all of those things are long-term plays. And we need to learn how to be a lot more patient and understand that it's going to take some time. And we have to have the discipline, going back to that word again, and the endurance to be able to push through this and make the changes needed so that we can find some more success in life.
Success for sure. And Mr. Hamad, navigating challenges and setbacks. Tell us, what is the most important lesson about resilience that sports teach us?
Mm. I like to use the words keep showing up on the field of life. And obviously that can go from sports and into the quote unquote real world, the business world. Be- because you're going to take losses. There's no way around that. And they don't feel so good. But we have to well, for one, I would say that the one of the key factors that needs to happen is that you need to have an end goal in mind. I know we haven't gotten to that part of this yet, but if you don't know where you're going, then you'll never know what the win looks like. And so when it comes to that, and it's when you have a goal that you are trying to reach, then each day you start inching closer to be able to reach that goal. And reaching that goal is what you're trying to do. And of course, once you get done with that goal, there's small goals, there's big goals, there's yearly goals, there's monthly goals, there's daily goals. And so we have to be able to be persistent and be intentional and being able to push through and do those things because um, again, there's going to be setbacks and there's going to be heartaches, there's going to be injuries on and off the field. And so we need to be able to know that we can try again, that we can clean ourselves up and get back in the game. We can heal our wounds and get back to business and get back to the work that needs to be done to reach the level of success that you've put on your goal sheet and trying to do.
Very well said, Mr. Ahmad. Very well said. In a sport, losing team makes halftime a judgment. What does the concept of halftime look like in our lives? A time to pause, reassess, or change strategy?
I think that for those out there who are putting together yearly goals, right? Obviously there's 12 months in a year, 4 weeks in a month. Most months are 4 weeks, give or take, the 5 or whatever. You want to kind of look back over what you said you were working towards and see if what you're doing is working. Um, you want to check your progress. Let's just say your goal is to make $120,000 this year, and obviously that's generating that's 10,000 a month. Well, if some months you're making 12, but the next month you're making 4, then you need to kind of sort of reassess and go in, like you said, go into halftime and make those adjustments. Maybe there's something you were doing in month 3 that you need to be doing better in month 5, as far as putting the game plan together. And anyone who's been in business knows that that marketing plan you put together, that business plan you put together, sometimes you may need to make some adjustments. Or as we call in football, you may need to call an audible, while the game is going on. And so you need to be able to make those adjustments. And if we want to say the halftime adjustments, meaning halfway through the intended time you're looking to do what it is you're doing, get in there and say, okay, the running game is working, but our passing game, we need to make some changes here and there, and maybe find some ways to get some players the ball. And in any sport, that's what you do when you look at the scoreboard and decide where you are in the current state of affairs, and you go and pull out the dry erase board, pull out the clipboard, and say, let's get together with key players who are going to be part of this, and let's make some adjustments.
Very well said again, an empowering answer, Mr. Ahmad. And every athlete faces slumps, injuries, and losing streaks. How can the process of recovering from sports injury serve as a powerful metaphor for healing from emotional or professional setbacks?
Oh man, it definitely will give you some time to think, because depending on the severity of the injury, you might be out more than just the weekend or a week. You might be out for some months. You may even be out for the season. But I think that during that time, it's a great opportunity for self reflection. Obviously, there is some work that can still be done. You can still be, reading game plans and reading scouting reports, and putting some time together. And really during that time, and I'm going to use a lot of this through the lens of football, because that's the sport that I played the most of outside of track. And let's just say you have a player who's injured, and maybe they're going to be out for about 4 or 5 games. So they cannot be on the football field, but they can assist in practice time. They can assist by, looking over the playbook and learning some plays, and being maybe like somewhat of a de facto assistant coach to be able to read over the game plan and be able to help his colleagues, help his teammates to be able to push through and make plays in a certain way, looking at the scouting the video, and looking at some things and learning the game more through the lens of a coach instead of just being a player. And so in life, what we would do with that is that can be what's equivalent to maybe a layoff, or maybe you are changing careers and changing jobs, and maybe there's a layover time between that, and that's a time for you to get into the books, to do continuing education. That's a time for you to be able to, whatever your craft is, whatever your profession is to get better at it by reading books, by studying some influencers and some podcasts, and some any level of continuing education, or even getting with your new employer and trying to figure out, what do I need to be studying to do this new job or this new profession better. And I think that all of those things can be important, while there may be some quote unquote downtime, while you rebuild. And rebuilding is going to be an important factor when it comes to pushing forward and doing, um, taking on some time off due to injury or due to layoff, and being able to prepare yourself for that next season in life.
Mr. Ahmad, how does the concept of leaving it all on the field translate to living a life without regrets, where we know we gave our
Mm.
best effort regardless of the outcome?
Ah, man, you're talking. Now you're speaking to me, Daniel. Man, leaving it all on the field. When you that's when you go out, and it's just everything, to where almost somebody has to like carry you off of there, because And in the sense of life, it's that when you go to work, much like on the football field, in a football game, there's four quarters. Depending on what level you're talking about, 12 to 15-minute quarters. I would say in the workforce, that's where you go to work and you're not looking at the clock. You're not wondering how much longer you need to work. You're task driven, meaning today we're supposed to get this completed. Today we're supposed to accomplish this. And your only focus is to make sure that you make the company better by providing your labor, your intellect, your insights into the job that needs to be done for that particular day. Meaning you're not trying to reserve anything. You're not trying to be like, oh, I can do this tomorrow. No, you're trying to max out every day as if the project you're working on is completely contingent on you finishing it today. Now, there may be times when you don't finish it in a day because it may be a project that's a 3-week project. But whatever you set out to do that day, do that plus a little bit more every day you go in, and then you'll be in a position to where like you'll be ahead of things, and you'll know that you've put in the work. You have fulfillment that comes from that, meaning that your employer is paying you at this level, but you're going above and beyond that to make sure that you are contributing at the highest level to your company or to whatever you do. And I think that we all should have that mindset because so many people are trying to cut back and trying to look for ways to cut corners instead of just pouring it all out. Empty your cup every day and just give all of what you are focused on for that day, for whatever you do in your profession. Give it all each and every day and rinse, wash, repeat. Do that every day that you show up to your jobs.
Empowering answer, Mr. Ahmad, and truly, truly amazing. And what can dynamics of successful sports team where starts must sometimes sacrifice for good of the team teach us about collaboration and ego management in the workplace in our relationships?
Oh man, every leader not only has to lead by example, but has to understand that as the leader, you are a servant, meaning you're serving the needs of all those who are working with and I don't want to say under you, but they are that you are their leader. But it's actually in reverse because you serve them and making sure that they have all that they need so that we can all come together as one unit and be able to complete a task. I got to speak to so many great leaders over my time, especially working in sports when I was working with Fox Sports all those years as a recruiting analyst. Most of the top players, the guys who are getting the major scholarships and going to these amazing universities to play football, they were the most giving on the team. You know, a lot of them were the least arrogant. Meanwhile, they're the best at what they do. But when you understand that it's just not about you, it's about the good of the team, then that's when you take yourself down and be able to put yourself in a position to be able to help others and improve their lives, improve their game, improve their skills, to be able to work with them, not for them, to work with them, to be able to bring together a harmonious group where everyone knows that they're included with this, and you are sacrificing to make sure that the entire unit is better at what they do. And so I've always admired those types of leaders who give first and aren't seeking just a bunch of self-gratification. In fact, it's quite the opposite. It's more of a servant leadership. It's more of a level of humility to be able to help their fellow man, fellow ladies get through a particular project. And so you need the collectivity of the group. And like I always tell my guys out this way that I speak to from a ministry standpoint, when you take on leadership, when things go completely well, you spread all of the joy, all of the praise unto those who you've worked with. But when things go not so well, you take responsibility for that. And I think when you think with that type of mindset, you make it better for everyone around you. And it puts you in a situation where you're leading with your mind and your heart and not your own ego and self-righteousness.
Mr. Ahmad, before we wrap up our discussion today, I'm inviting you to please do listen to my other podcast, people. My other podcast, because my abstract essay is already in fifth season, abstract poetry in second season, and my book 101 review in fifth season too, comedy 101 in second season, and my food 101 in fifth season as well, geography 101 in fourth season, and my baby podcast Slow 101 and Mental Health 101 Love Letters in the third season, and Movie 101 Review and Music 101 in fourth season, and Science 101 and Sex 101 in its first season. Please listen to them wherever you listen your podcast. So, Mr. Hamad, tell us, what are your short-term and long-term goals?
Short-term goals is to reevaluate the business, to reevaluate that guy media group, and really sort of reassess the fact of the growth that we've had. The marketing needs to catch up with the new version of me who is here now, and so that's probably more of a long-term goal. And a short-term goal is I want to redo my goals for the next 15 months, and I've been working on them now, um, and getting those prepared and ready. Redoing my one sheet, and getting my speaker one page back into rotation so we can get back on the road and speaking. I am going to be speaking here in the next couple of weeks at a fitness conference in retreat, so that's going to be exciting. And continuing to do the ministry work down here in the north side of Houston, Texas. It's been a beautiful thing, and so that's kind of my short-term goal, to continue to pour into these young men who have trust in me, and to be able to help them go into these new stages of life. I'm excited for that, and it's just exciting to see what God is doing in my life and in the life of others right now.
Well, good luck to your goals, Mr. Ahmad, and looking forward for more success. And what will your piece of advice for those people out there want to be like you?
I will use a quote that my father has told me many times before, and he said, "Live the best life you can, and then give it all away." What I take for that in this point of my life is to go out and stop thinking so much about yourself and go serve others. Go put in some community service somewhere. Go join a local church. Go visit a hospital. Go a place where there's kids who could use some guidance. Go read to some at your local library. Just give back 2 to 3 hours a week. Give back to those who are in need of some assistance and serve them. And you'll see how your mindset and your heart posture will shift when you start first giving back to others and not just looking out for things for yourself. So I would say that's the one thing I would leave with people. Go out and be a servant. Go out and give from your heart and mind, and give back to those who are in need. And it will absolutely enhance your life so much, because it's not about what you get, it's about what you give.
Yes, definitely. Thank you for that advice, Mr. Ahmad. And can you please recommend a book or books that influence your journey?
Man, I'm gonna go to the source of all wisdom, of all historic and all everything, and that's the Bible. The
Yes,
Holy Bible
definitely.
has been the foundation of my life. And before I read any other books, that book has to be read first.
Yes. Bible is highly recommended.
Mhm.
And if you could choose one single piece of wisdom from the world of sports that everyone should apply to their life, what would it be, Mr. Hamad?
I would say discipline. Discipline
Discipline indeed is
more than
one of the key
anything.
success.
It's because it's such a
Yes.
Mhm.
If you
Absolutely.
have discipline, consistency, and faith in God, you will be successful in life. Mr. Ahmad Vital, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world. So, can you please invite our listeners to support your advocacy, your books, your projects, or anything you want to promote on Abstract Essay?
AhmardVital.com is the hub to be able to find everything, and you put Ahmad Vital into a search engine, and I will pop up, whether it's social media or anything of that nature. I would encourage your listeners to go to booknowwhat.com. That's the latest book I've put out right now, 5 Steps to Get Up and Create the Most of Life. Um, if you go to their website, you can get a free digital copy of it. We'd love for you to go to your favorite bookstore and pick up a copy, but my publisher's made available free copies of it right now. And so I hope that you all go check that out. And if you want to reach out to me on coaching or anything else, or just to chat and just, you know, pick my brain about anything, I'm absolutely available for that. Just send me a direct message, or you can send it at info@ahmardvital.com, and I'll look to get back to all of your listeners as soon as they reach out to me. And I'm just so grateful to be on Abstract Essay with you, Daniel, and to be able to pour into your audience who is listening here tonight.
Yes, people, let's support Mr. Ahmad Vital, because if you support him, for sure, more and more empowering books to come, more and more empowering speaking gig to come, and for sure, more and more empowering coaching to come. So, Mr. Ahmad, thank you so much for your time.
I much appreciate it. I'm honored to be on with you, Daniel, on your show.
More to come, people. See you soon.